Okay, we are back, everyone. Episode 22 of Yankees and Mets podcast is now live, and I definitely have some interesting stuff to touch on today, I would say. So I went yesterday to the tailgate for Rothenberg and DiPietro, and I got an interview with Dave that'll be in this podcast on the Mets and some of his radio career, which is very interesting because he's a radio host for ESPN New York. Rothenberg and DiPietro, very good morning show on the radio airwaves. And when I look at the Yankees, I did speak to Michael Kay. I don't have audio of it, but I do remember exactly what he told me, and I'm going to get to that too. But we'll start with Rothenberg since I have that clip. But before I get to Rothenberg, I'm going to hit some quick Mets points. The first thing is that the injury to Senga is very unfortunate. I'm not sure how severe it is yet, but he might miss some time. He's definitely going to the IL, so he will miss some time. I don't know how long exactly, maybe like 4 to 6 weeks. They'll probably slow play it because they have Manaea coming back. They have Montas coming back. Blackburn is still an option who they were taking calls on, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore. And the biggest development for the Mets outside of that is Juan Soto has risen. I think he has like 5 homers in his last 12 games. He didn't hit one yesterday, but you're starting to see more of the Yankees Juan Soto, and that's a very good sign for Mets fans. He has a good matchup tonight against Taj Bradley. It's Mets-Rays, and I definitely think the Mets will at least take 2 out of 3 against Tampa Bay. I will get to the series pitching and matchups later. Soto's B-WAR, 2.9. 13 homers, 253 average, getting higher, OPS 389. On base percentage 389, creeping up towards his normal 400-ish range. His slug is 469, his OPS 858, OPS plus 147. So you're starting to see the numbers come in, along with 35 RBI and 8 stolen bases. I'll still maintain the fact that he's not going to do what he did last year with the Yankees, but if he ends up doing what he's doing now and plays that out through a 162, that's still a very good season for him. And like I said, postseason Soto is going to be the biggest bonus for Met fans. That's going to be something they're going to enjoy. And just how clutch he is, how he wears down a pitcher. I think there was a polls on in The Athletic recently actually saying that he's the toughest guy that pitchers don't want to face in a big spot. And that's even ahead of Aaron Judge, which is interesting. There's a whole debate about the clutch situation. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now because I have more stuff to do today. But obviously Soto's shown the ability to hit in October better than Aaron Judge has, and I'm going to leave it at that. But Aaron Judge is having an historic season. Aaron Judge is the best player in the league. Aaron Judge will win his 3rd MVP. So that's a good thing for Judge, obviously, unless something crazy happens or he gets hurt, which no one wants to see happen. But right now, the way he's playing, he's the clear-cut MVP and the clear-cut best player in baseball. And the other thing with that is that there's a lot of pressure on him to replace Soto, kind of help replace his production. He's doing that and then some. He gets his first off day. Everyone goes up in arms, but the Yankees still win 1-0. Yeah, the offense was lacking, but the pitching was really good. But I'm going to do more Yankee stuff later. We'll go back to Mets. So for the Mets, Pete Alonso's been their best hitter all year, obviously. Francisco Lindor is going through some stuff with his injuries. So I'm not sure how effective he is right now, but you know what he has in there and he's capable. If he can play, he's probably going to figure it out. I'm sure he's going to be fine. The power hasn't been there for him recently, but that could always change. So without further ado, let's get to Rothenberg's interview that I have in here. Here we go. Here with Dave Rothenberg, ESPN Radio host. So, Dave, what's been your favorite Mets moment besides them winning the World Series?
So now we're going back a long way. I guess going to the World Series in 2015 was really special. I was at the game last year when Lindor hit the grand slam against the Phillies, and they won that series in Game 6.
That's a good one.
That might have been it. But they didn't go to the World Series that year. I don't know, maybe I don't have a ton, but Murphy destroying the Cubs in the National League Championship Series, probably one of those 3.
So you've had a distinguished radio career. What have been some notable highlights along your journey? Like, what's been one of your favorite parts of having the job?
I love the job. I'm blessed every day I get to, show up to work and talk sports. A lot of the athletes that I've met, having access to so many games. It's amazing. The Giants had this really personal, team day, and I was able to bring my kids to that, and they played dodgeball with Saquon Barkley,
wow.
and it was really cool. So that might be up there, but I have a million great moments from this career.
Okay, so that was a cool little interview from him. What I took from that was a couple things. And the reason why I asked the question for the Mets was I was interested because they haven't won a World Series in a while. And Dave was old enough, not that old at that point, but old enough to know to witness the 86 World Series. So I was curious to see what his perspective was and what else stood out to him after that, because they haven't quite gotten it done. But like he said, the Lindor Grand Slam was a good moment last year. Daniel Murphy's heroics against the Cubs in that World Series run that fell short to the Royals was also a good moment. There's a funny story that I'll get to later, kind of a little bit petty, but we'll get there. And then he also mentions how he loves his radio career, which of course he's a sport addict. This guy breathes, lives, obsesses with sports. He's a diehard in every sense of the word. Also Giants, and the Saquon story was cool. So the thing with the Royals is that they're going to do an Eric Komsner giveaway or something of the day when the Mets play them, and how we helped them win the World Series. So Mets will definitely take notice of that. We'll see what ends up happening when they play them. The Yankees swept the Royals. The Royals' offense was really bad. The Yankees' pitching was good against them. There was one big offense. There were actually two big offensive days, not yesterday, obviously, but that's what took place with that. But Rothenberg definitely has some cool perspective. He's, like I said, it was the Phillies moment, the Murphy moments, the 2015 World Series run, basically, were his highlights. So that's what an interesting perspective from him. So we'll see how things continue to develop. But for me personally, I think the Mets this season, someone asked me this question yesterday, who's the toughest threat to the Dodgers? And I said the Mets without hesitation. Now, besides the Mets, I would say that besides the Mets, I would say that the Phillies are obviously still in play, and the Cubs. Those are my big four in the National League. The Giants are pesky. I can see them making the playoffs, but I don't think they're a championship team. Maybe I'm wrong. They've done it before when no one expected it. The Diamondbacks have been very disappointing. Atlanta Braves have been disappointing. San Diego Padres seem a little bit off to me. A lot of pitching injuries and concerns there. Is Preller going to pull his magic wand? Is he going to go get Jared Durant from Boston, who is sitting tonight for Anthony Roman? But we'll see. Roman Anthony. I keep messing that up because the Anthony thing. But anyway, more importantly than that, those are my big four in the National League. And we'll see what happens. But I put the Mets ahead of the Phillies, obviously, because they're winning the division. I put the Mets ahead of the Cubs because of their pitching. The Cubs pitching needs a lot of work. The Mets pitching is way better. The Mets handled the Cubs when they played them, and I don't think they would have an issue with the Cubs in October. Going back to that moment, which is ages ago with Murphy, they handled them back then too. I know they've definitely gotten them a few times in October, so that's noteworthy to me. And the Mets are the biggest threat to the Dodgers because for me, and I'm not taking crazy stock this season series. That's not where my basis is coming from because both teams are going to look way different when October rolls around. But to me, the Mets aren't afraid of the Dodgers. The Mets built this team to beat the Dodgers. That was the mission statement, beat the Dodgers, get the World Series, win the World Series. And that's why they got Juan Soto. And Soto had some good moments against the Dodgers last year. He did have, I think it was 2 bombs in LA, I want to say. Or at least 1, but I think it was 2. But regardless of that, he's the difference maker. Also, the Mets are going to be aggressive at the deadline. So will the Dodgers. So I want to see what both teams do. And I know we still have a month and a half, but things are building. It's percolating. I'm working on some stuff behind the scenes, trying to get everyone really good coverage for the trade deadline on this platform. And we're going to try to get different guests on from other teams, outside the Yankees and Mets too. We're going to go around the league as much as we can. And in other shows, not today because it's a busy day. I want to incorporate more of around the league talk, like quick hitters, maybe like the last 5 minutes of the show, because I am making a conscious effort to keep these shows within 30 minutes for a few different reasons. So I would say that like that's my goal. We're gonna try to mix and match some stuff and see how it works. We're gonna get different guests, hoping they pull in some announcers, broadcasters, like same thing, radio heads, and then like some reporters. So we'll see what we could do with that. Working on a lot of stuff, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it takes us. So that's the Mets scope right now. I guess I'll preview the series. Let's preview Mets Rays. And so today, the Mets definitely have an advantage of Clay Holmes against Taj Bradley. No questions asked there. I could definitely see Soto having a big night off Bradley. Maybe when Lindor gets going. I'm not going to doubt it, that's for sure. I'm kind of curious to see how Clay Holmes has pitched against the Rays in his career, although I know I have to take that with a grain of salt because he was mainly a reliever, but because he saw them so much with the Yankees, I want to see like what the data looks like there. So I'll get everyone that as we roll through here. I would say like I think he'll be fine, honestly. Oh no, I need the career, not the season. So okay, he hasn't played them yet, obviously. So I remember some moments that Tampa Bay got to him when I was watching him with the Yankees. So I want to see like what the whole body of work looks like. I definitely know there was a frustrating blow and save or two on his end with them. So Tampa Bay Rays, that doesn't make sense. He's had to have played them in some. Oh, there they go at the bottom. So he actually pitches very well against them. 19 innings, 28 strikeouts, and an ERA under 1. And he was 1-0 against them. And he has 8 saves. Can't see the opportunities here. But regardless, that's actually very encouraging for the Mets. And I will give the Mets the win today for sure. So let's see how I feel about the rest of the series. Saturday, they're going to play again, and then they'll play Sunday. So let's see how we feel about that. I would say, like, for this thing, oh, no, MLB score. So Tampa's in a decent spot right now. They did just lose 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox. Someone brought up a very good point that didn't resonate with me. Shout out to Frank the Tank and John Heyman for Tank's Walks. It was a cool little segment. They made an interesting point that's kind of flying under the radar with the Rays. The Rays are going to have to start playing a lot more road games because they're playing at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa and they're outside. They don't want a lot of games late in the summer because of heat, rain, and the whole 9 yards. So that's going to affect them because they're going to have to go on the road a lot more. And they've had a lot of their home games have been early. So that's going to get tougher. They're going to have to go on long road trips, maybe 10. I don't know about there's a 2-week one, but there's definitely at least 3 series in the road, no question. Maybe there is a 2-week one somewhere, I'm sure. So Saturday, I actually give the advantage to the Rays because Drew Rasmussen has been elite. And Tyler McGill has been a little bit hit or miss. He started off hot, kind of coming back down to reality. Not that I think he's bad, but you're looking at a 2.2 ERA compared to a 3.76. There's a big discrepancy there. Rasmussen has been elite this year, 59 Ks to McGill's 84, but Rasmussen is getting it done more with contact, although he has, 69 innings, 59 Ks. His whip is under 1. It's 0.9. That's very impressive. When you look at McGill, his whip is 1.3, but he strikes out a lot of batters, 84 Ks in 64 innings. So they both go about it differently, but Rasmussen has been way more effective. So I'll give the Saturday win to the Rays. So Sunday, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everyone because I don't think I'll be on that day or probably come on after next week at some point. So happy Father's Day to all the dads listening, friends, fans, my dad, everyone else, everyone in the company. That's appreciate that. So let's see. Sunday, it's Boz versus Cannon. That one I'll give to the Mets because Boz has not been great. He's been very erratic, and Cannon's been solid. He was really good the other day, too, against the, I think it was Nationals. David Peterson was lights out, too, complete game shutout. That was really cool to see. You don't see that too much anymore. think it was the third one this year, which is kind of a lot now these days, or like third one in recent time, but still a lot for any stretch this year. So I'll say Mets win 2 out of 3. So let's transition to the Yankees now. We'll cross over. So like I already said, they got the sweep. To me, the Yankees are in a lot of trouble tonight. It's Garrett Crochet versus Ryan Yarbrough. Yarbrough gets, how do I put this lightly? He gets hit hard against the Red Sox. That's the best way to put it. He does not play well against them. His numbers against them are brutally bad. He has an ERA of 7.65 against them. Last week, he gave up 7 or 8. It was his worst start of the year. And to me, like I've been saying before this happened, Yarbrough is going to come back down to earth. And now the timing of him facing the Red Sox back-to-back starts cannot be worse for him. He doesn't play well against them. They are on him. They know him. Like, he's pitched a lot against them. It's not a fluke. It's not an aberration. He just does not pitch well against them. And Garrett Crochet was surprisingly off against the Yankees last time. He gave up 5 runs in 6 innings. That's not going to happen again, most likely. So, to me, the Yankees will drop the game tonight. But I do think they'll win Saturday. I think Rodon gets Hunter Dobbins this time. I'm not going to give much thoughts on Hunter Dobbins except for the fact that he should probably stop speaking, because anything he says is like not looking too good right now. Making up a bunch of stuff and being like upset when it gets aggregated. Like, Hunter, you made your own bet here, but I'm not going to go on about that. Rodon was off against Boston last time. I think he'll be much better this time. Like I said, he's having a very solid year. I don't think last week is a sign of things to come. I think it was an aberration. So I think he gets it together, and it'll help him to face a few of the lefties. And I mean, his start last time was not good, obviously, but the one was a poor shot by Christian Campbell. You can't do much about that. And Narvaez, his inevitable return home run. So that was tough to stop too, I guess. So I like that. And then Sunday, the Yankees have Max Fried, so I definitely like them to win. And it's going to be an afternooner. And the Red Sox are going to throw Brian Bayo, who the Yankees have had mixed results against, but that's such a big disparity in pitching, kind of like the Crochet Yarbrough situation a little bit. So I'm going to take the Yankees to win 2 out of 3. Now, last week I predicted Red Sox 2 out of 3, and it happened, so we'll see if I can get this one right. So now let's get to the thoughts with Michael Kay. I spoke to Michael yesterday. I didn't get a clip or anything because the audio is probably a little bit tough, but I did get some new mic sets, so I'm looking forward to getting some better stuff going forward. But I remember everything he told me. Most importantly, with the trade deadline, he told me that he can see the Yankees going for a righty bench bat in second base. So I think it's like, I guess they really want to commit to Jazz back at third, which is odd because they had them starting a second in the year. Did they not expect as much from LeMahieu? I mean, maybe. Again, with DJ, we'll see. Results are good so far, though. So credit where credit's due. And we'll see if he can maintain it. Like I said, 2 bombs, 798 batting average, 9 RBI, 372 on base, slug 397, OPS 769, only 68 at-bats. But if the Yankees can get that consistently from LeMahieu, like all those average on base, slug, and OPS, they would be thrilled at this point in his career. And right now, this is subject to change, but right now, I think DJ LeMahieu has earned at least a legitimate spot on the Yankees bench. So Michael said righty hitting, and I couldn't agree more. The Yankees are and it's odd because they were way too righty heavy for a while, and now with the pendulum has switched back to the lefty side being too heavy. So that will get helped a little bit with Giancarlo Stanton. And I'm going to provide some updates on Stanton as well. He played 3 straight rehab games. He's off tonight. Do they bring him back tomorrow? I mean, maybe. I haven't heard anything yet. I don't actually know. I'm just speculating here. Does he come back Sunday? Do they wait for the Angels series at home? It's definitely possible they're going to wait at this point because I thought, or I'll tell you what. It's either they wait till Monday or Tuesday, whenever the game is, or they bring him tomorrow because it doesn't make sense to only bring him to Boston for 1 game. I doubt they would do that. So I think it's either going to be tomorrow or Monday. We'll see. because if he plays a rehab tomorrow, then they'll probably want to have him play another one Sunday, and then he'll probably be done because they have an off day Monday. They're not going to make him sit and then do another rehab, I don't think. And he hates the rehab process. Like, he does not like it at all. He's like, I don't want to be here. He's like, obviously, this isn't where I want to be. Like, he's very nonchalant with his answers. Like, he was very non-descriptive with like his rehab process, but he says he feels good. He's timing. He's in there fly pitching in Tampa. He feels like he's close. I think he's definitely close as well. So he did hit a bunch of balls hard on the first 2 days. Yesterday was 0-4. But again, the results in the rehab don't even matter that much. It's just like getting the time and getting the swing back and making sure you can fully play the game healthy. That's what really matters in the rehab assignment. And we'll see how he progresses. He's a big piece to this Yankees offense. It'll help their right-left balance situation also. So the Yankees are actually hitting lefties better than I thought they would, I will say. But they can still use some help in that department. And then we'll get to the bench jigsaw puzzle like when she returns too. Another thing Michael Kay told me that was very cool was that his favorite call, and he's had a lot of them, so I was always I want to know which one's his favorite because there's so many good ones. He said the Jeter exclamation point history 3000. That's actually iconic, I would say. It's definitely, in my opinion, that's also one of his better calls. He's had a few good ones, a few World Series in there too, with Sterling back in the day on the radio. But he's doing well. He has another event down the shore soon, so I'll probably go to that also and see if I can get more, get some better clips, audio. So, but thanks to him for giving me a few minutes yesterday, and also Dave Rothenberg for giving me a few minutes yesterday. That was really nice. I met DiPietro, but we kind of just said, hey, I don't want to bug him. He was busy, so we just said some formalities there. But more importantly than that, for the Yankees, here we go with this bench jigsaw puzzle. I'm going to start with J.C. Escarra. Escarra, to me, has proven his worth. He's catching Will Warren excellently, and not only just Will Warren, but 37 innings, 41 Ks, and a 2.9 ERA with Will Warren pitching to J.C. Escarra. His numbers have been phenomenal with J.C. Escarra behind the plate. And I think those two should stay together. I saw them work together in Double-A and Triple-A. And yes, I know Austin did too. Believe me, I was there. But something about the connection with JC and Warren just sits better right now. And Wells is still going to play a lot. It's no slack on Wells. It's no shot at Wells because I think he's very good too. And his framing is looking good. And his receiving and everything else is improving back there. And he's doing a great job. But you look at J.C. Escarra, and the sample size is not even that large. And he has some really impressive numbers, like really, really impressive stuff, especially for the fact that he hasn't even played that many games. He's near the top 5 in the most valuable framing stats in baseball. And he's played about a third of, and he's only caught, this actually doesn't even make any sense to me. He's only caught 480 pitches. That seems so low. But, oh, no, I'm sorry, because, some of them you can't frame, But anyway, it's still a third of what everyone else has done for the most part, and he's still in that top 5 discussion. And Austin Wells also has 3 in, more innings. So, Escarra, I will also say this. He's also swinging the bat a lot better than people realize. He almost hit 2 bombs yesterday. One of them was just foul. And then he had a double that would have been a bomb in 7 ballparks yesterday, in the right center field gap. He was 2 for 4. And to me, Escarra is a guy that needs to stay on the Yankees roster. I don't want to see Ben Rice catching. I don't think he's good at it. I think they're trying to force it, trying to get quirky. I don't think it's worth it. And you can keep his bat in the lineup very simply by having him hit against righties. I think you don't need to play him against lefties that much. Goldschmidt destroys lefties and Stanton destroys lefties. So, yeah, I know Rice is good. I know people want him to get the full workload, but at the same time, it makes more sense to have him lose some time than cutting J.C. Escarra loose because Escarra is an invaluable defensive catcher, number 1. Number 2, his bat's only going to begin to get better. Like I mentioned this last time, and I'll bring it up again because it reminds reiterating, and I probably won't say it again after until we see it happen. JC is a guy that loves hitting in the hot weather. And last season, Ascara, he really got hot in the month of August. He went nuts. He had like a series where he had, it might have been 6 homers in 5 games or 5 homers in 5 games in AAA. And that's what caught a lot of people's attention, although I was following him well before that. That's like what got him more on their radar from an offensive standpoint. But like I've also said, the Yankees have loved Ascara's defense since the day he joined the team, and his metrics graded out among the best in the org, like or almost amongst the best of anyone in minor league baseball last season defensively, like looking at the framing and everything else. And he has 1 homer this year, 237 average. Again, only 59 at-bats, so the sample size is still very small, and he's showing he can do it. OPS plus 99, that's good for a backup catcher. OPS 706, also good for a backup catcher. On base, 100 points higher than his average, so he's taking his walks. And he has played in 26 games this year, but he hasn't fully gotten all the at-bats because he's been pinch hit for sometimes. He's also come in late situations as well. So he's getting some little bit of burn. He's played around, let's see, Judge sat around the 67th game, I think, 26 multiplied times 3, 60. So he's played in more than 33% of the games, but he hasn't fully played in like more than 33% of the games. But to me, Ascara is the guy that needs to stay on the Yankees roster, and I don't think it makes any sense for the Yankees not to keep him. He needs to be on the squad, on their team. So done with Ascara for now. Will Warren again is showing what he can do. So trade deadline, we'll go back to what Kay said, and I'll try to spin my wheels here. If the Rays fall out, Brandon Lau's the perfect guy to me. Would they try Yoan Moncada at second? I don't know because he's back at third now. Second base targets, they think there seems to be more. So they go with Luis Rengifo, who's not overly impressive. But is it better than Peraza? Maybe. Peraza, again, he's playing good defense, but the bat's not there. So when Stan returns, I think Reyes gets DFA'd. That gives you 1 bench spot. And then you have to trade. Then they would have to trade for the infielder to fill that bench spot and have them start. And you put LeMahieu on the bench is what I would do. That's the way to do it. So you could still carry Ascara, Rice, Grisham, or Dominguez, whichever one's alternating off of Belly here and there. And that's what the bench could look like in October. So I got to try to see if there's more second base targets really quick before I go, because it's so finicky, it's so early. So it's really tough to say who would be. I would say that Brandon Lau, Ryan McMahon, no. And Emilio Suarez is not he's a third baseman. Yes, that would be a good fit, but that's not what we need, that they need for second base, I would say. So trying to see, it's so early right now. Jonathan India is not that interesting to me. I don't think he's hitting too well. Bo Bichette's not happening. Red Sox aren't going to trade with the Yankees again. Like I said, Blue Jays, no. Guardians don't have a second baseman to offer. Royals, I don't think India's that great. Could the Tigers pull a move with someone? Probably not. I mean, Glaber's been good for the Tigers, too. Do the Twins have something to do? Is there a Royce Lewis situation? Well, he's more of a third baseman. He gets injured a lot, but the talent is immense with Royce Lewis. So if they could somehow do that, that wouldn't be too bad either. Angels, like I went through them. Astros aren't going to help the Yankees. A's don't really have a second baseman. Doing all the teams. Mariners, could you go get Polanco maybe? Could you go get Polanco if the Mariners fall out of it? It's possible. But he's starting to fall off too, so I'm not sure if that's the way to go. Rangers, they have everything filled with Simeon and Seager, and they're not getting traded. Albies probably not getting traded, although if he was, That would be a trade the Yankees should pursue if he was. Marlins, I don't see anything else. Mets aren't going to trade with the Yankees. Nationals don't really have anyone over there. Phillies, no. Brewers and Yankees are probably doing enough work. Cardinals, everyone wants Brendan Donovan, but that's not happening. Cubs, Nico Horner, I guess, could come up again maybe if Shaw starts to click and figure it out. The Pirates will get Bryant, not really second baseman. Gavin Lux with the Reds is a name that's been floated maybe, but I don't think the Yankees like him that much. Diamondbacks with Suarez, but no one at second really. Dodgers aren't going to give the Yankees an infielder. I mean, Rojas maybe, but I doubt it. Giants aren't going to deal probably. I don't see the Padres dealing, and the Rockies, the Yankees I don't think want a second tour with Tyro Estrada, but I guess that could maybe be an option. You never know. So that's my rundown of the situation if they were to go for second. So I want to thank everyone. It's been a fun episode. We got to mix it up a little bit. I dropped the Rothenberg interview. I previewed both series. I talked about what Kay told me. So everyone subscribe to our Esquina. We appreciate the support. All platforms, including TikTok. My personal Twitter is JulianGlardy1. Instagram is JulianGlardy11. You can also find me on Facebook and TikTok if you search my name. So we'll see you when the next time I'm back and if I have a guest or anything. But everyone will know what's going on. So thank you.